What's going on with everybody, man? Bit later of a stream today, 11/20, April 27th, 2026. The aftermath of Chelsea beating Leeds 1-0 in the FA Cup semifinal, where the boys put in a pretty good performance yesterday. We saw a lot of players wake up, particularly like Robert Sanchez, particularly, Enzo Fernandez, particularly Moises Caicedo, and a lot of the other players out there actually woke up. There's still an APB out for Cole Palmer, even though he came on for 20 minutes. Didn't look great, but you hope that he can find some type of form towards the end of the season and actually turn his shit around. But one player specifically that was just an absolute shit show yesterday was Garnacho, and was rightfully booed off by the fans. And there needs to be a conversation about him, but we'll get to that in a little bit. As you see, I do have something right here. If I can get my finger next to it. If you guys want to support the stream, anything like that, I have this QR code. If you want to, you don't have to. It's just if you want more great content that I'm trying to push out, support the stream. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that the quality and the opinions that I'm giving will be better. So you guys don't have to do it. It's just there if you want to. I had a few people in my live stream yesterday saying they want to support me in this. So if you want to do that, by all means, I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say yes, but it's up to you guys. Anyway, Chelsea win yesterday 1-0, man. And what it did for me in my entire day yesterday was absolutely sensational. I mean, we had a very beautiful day yesterday. Me, my girlfriend, and my daughter had a very good day yesterday, and we revealed something to her that she's been wanting for her entire life, and it's something that she deserves, quite honest with you. When we make the full announcement on within our personal circles, I'll be able to share with you guys what's going on. But if you guys know and have an idea, then I'm absolutely excited for this and I can't wait. But getting back to Chelsea and stuff like that, Callum McFarlane probably told these guys that just go out there and play. Play for the badge. You don't need to listen to exactly what I'm trying to tell you guys to do. Just go out there and go put in a performance. And they put in a good performance yesterday. Robert Sanchez looked like the Robert Sanchez of early this season, where he was confident, he was commanding in the box, he was making fantastic saves, was being decisive on when he got rid of the ball, which is where the goal came from, right? Long ball over the top. Pascal Struijk sat there and fumbled with the ball at the back. And João Pedro, he capitalizes, plays Pedro Neto into the space, puts in a decent ball into the box. And the man that has been heavily criticized, heavily scrutinized, and for the most part, a lot of the fan base doesn't want him at the club anymore. Enzo Fernandez scores that goal, points to the badge, and it's all about the badge at this point. These players did not want to play for Lane Racine. Give me 1 second, guys. 1 second while I go handle these dogs out there real quick. Can I get some type of feedback in the comments about if my audio is good? Because I know on live stream yesterday, my audio wasn't recording, man. And it really frustrated me because the game yesterday, I really wanted to express how I felt, and my review and also my stream had no audio. So I just want to know if there's audio being recorded or something like that. I mean, I can check on my phone too because I am live on YouTube and Twitch and Twitter as we speak. Let me go ahead and take a look at this real quick. Just want to make sure that I'm good here. And also, my stream had no audio. Okay. So I just wanted to. I'm good. I checked on my phone to make sure that my audio is being recorded here. So, yeah. So I was speaking on Robert Sanchez and how, or Enzo Fernandez scoring the goal yesterday, and he's pointing to the badge, and it meant everything for me personally because a lot of the fan base just doesn't want him at the club anymore for whatever reason. When he's proven he has 23 goals and assists, right? In 56 games this season, he has 23 goals and assists. So every other game, he's either getting a goal or an assist, which means that he's one of the creative outlets in this team and probably the guy that will create something out of nothing. And he could have had 2 or 3 assists yesterday, right? João Pedro, he smacks the post, unfortunately, right? I mean, it's a great shot in that bottom corner, and he slices at it, which is why it hit the post. If he gets his full foot behind that with the power he put on it, Chelsea probably win this game 2-0. He also had a chance in the second half, João Pedro, where Malo Gusto takes out 2 defenders, plays a brilliant ball into João Pedro's space into Enzo Fernandez, who flicks it back. And all João Pedro in that moment, all he really has to do is either take it first time or take a quick touch and fire that goal, and Chelsea are probably up 2-0. But at the end of the day, Leeds were wasteful. Leeds weren't good yesterday. They had opportunities and they didn't take them. Calvert-Lewin had a brilliant chance in the second half where if he heads that ball near post, you're probably looking at a 1-1 scoreline. Brandon Aaronson, the American, who I said I want to see in the American setup because he's going to be a key factor in what the United States does in the World Cup in the summer. And I'll be getting to my World Cup talk next month. And as we get closer to that tournament, because it's going to be a spectacular tournament. I mean, given that it's in the United States, I mean, there should be a heightened level of enthusiasm, but there hasn't really been much enthusiasm about the World Cup in the States, at least on my end, right? But Leeds didn't show up yesterday. Brandon Aaronson had a chance to... Give me a second, guys. My dogs have a real separation anxiety issue. But anyway, Leeds were wasteful yesterday. And, there was a moment in the second half where Robert Sanchez went down, just like a tactical thing that Callum McFarlane told the players on the pitch, let him know that he needs to go down so I could change up how we're doing things on the pitch. And we saw a flashpoint between the coaches. We saw flashpoints between the between the players, Romeo Lavia specifically, basically saying, shut the fuck up. What the fuck are you going to do about it? Absolutely nothing. Leeds weren't up for it. They weren't up for it. And this was their opportunity to get to a cup final for the first time in 50 years. And they fumbled it. And they only have themselves to blame for it. They were the team in form, really. Chelsea had lost 7 of 8. A lot of Chelsea fans weren't going into this game thinking that they were going to win it. I even said that this was a game that may go to penalties, and you never really know in a penalty shootout. But they showed up yesterday. They put in a performance that we've been asking for a while now. Now, could they improve? They have to be better against Man City if they want to have a shot of winning the FA Cup, right? But you never really know. So I'm going to hold my reservations on whether or not we can win the FA Cup. And if we can somewhat string a few games together where we're actually playing well, that way we go into this Man City game and we're not necessarily looking at a scenario here where it's too far-fetched that we can beat them. So when we go into the managerial search, right, and what this team is looking at, these are the 4 names apparently that keep on circulating around. And I just want to go over, why I feel like one of these managers may be like the right idea. Andoni Iraola would be an interesting one. Now, would he help how we play? His style of football is very direct and is very, you know, they take risks, they take chances, but at the same time, is he ready for that step up to a Big Six club? There's been talk about him going back to Spain because he wants to be he wants his family back around that. But if the Chelsea if the Chelsea job comes knocking and he's promised certain things, I think he would take the job. Out of these four managers, Xabi Alonso would be the one that everybody would be saying, and I would be here for it too. He's proven he can manage in a Big Five league. He's won silverware. A lot of like Eddie Howe won the League Cup last year, but he hasn't won anything really in English football, right? Xabi Alonso, I think, would honestly command the respect of these players, and the board would have to submit to what he wants, right? It didn't work out for him in Madrid because in Madrid there's a lot of issues with player power. There's a lot of issues between the board and the players right now, and how the performances have been. It's the second season in a row now where Real Madrid haven't won any silverware, which is unthinkable to think about. Real Madrid always win some type of silverware every single season, whether it's the Spanish Cup, whether it's La Liga, or whether it's the Champions League, right? They're not winning any of those trophies this season. So it's the second season running where they have arguably the best player in the world and they haven't won any silverware. Is that down to Mbappe, or is that down to players having too much control on what's going on at the club? We don't know that, right? And we'll probably find out over the summer who their next managerial appointment will be. But Xabi Alonso, out of these four, would be my pick. My pick personally would be Cesc Fabregas, but Xabi Alonso would not be the worst option, bro. I think he would do a job here, but I think he's waiting for the Anfield job to open up, which is probably why you won't see him become the Chelsea manager over the summer. If Arne Slot does go in the summer, Xabi Alonso will be the first person that they call. Mainly because they signed Florian Wirtz for the British, at the time, the record transfer fee in Britain. Now that's Alexander Isak. If Enzo Fernandez say if he were to move, Chelsea would demand the British transfer record for that. Especially if you're moving within the Premier League to a direct rival, they're going to tax Man City for Enzo Fernandez. But with the way that we played yesterday, I don't necessarily think that a move for Enzo is going to be on the cards in the summer anymore. I just think this team just did not want to play for Liam Senior, bro. That's just me. I just don't think they cared. I don't think they wanted to. And there was just no belief. And you can't tell me that Callum McFarlane, a guy that doesn't even have a UFA Pro license, was able to get a performance out of them. And Liam Senior, who has all the coaching badges, who has all the licenses, couldn't get a tune out of professional footballers. That has everything to do with the belief that the misbelief that they didn't have in that manager. And it's no surprise that all of a sudden you started seeing players play more free, play more expressive, actually care on the pitch, right? So hopefully this result takes them on the up and up. So here it says Andoni Iraola is the clear favorite. If he comes to Chelsea, I will have to support him. But for now, just to let everyone else know, him and Xabi Alonso are represented by the same agency. So if we were talking to one of them, they're represented by the same agency. But if you're going out of these two, I would go with Alonso all day. And if you're able to persuade him to come to the bridge, I think that's going to turn a lot of heads in this fan base, but not necessarily change how we feel about the ownership. I still think the ownership needs to go. Like, the damage is still done. But you get the elite manager in there, you know what? Maybe a conversation could be had about the ownership staying if they're really about to change the model, but they can't change it because there's no money to spend. So Xabi Alonso, I think, would be an interesting choice, bro. I think that should happen if we can. Another thing I want to talk about here is Liam Delap, bro. Liam Delap wants to stay and fight for his Chelsea career. This is the same thing that was said last year about Nico Jackson, and he ended up being sent out on loan to Bayern Munich. And if we actually pull over to my Instagram, which I don't normally show, because for different reasons. But I pulled this from the London will always be blue. The identity of Chelsea's next manager could be bearing on Nicholas Jackson's future. And Andoni Iraola is one of the candidates to fill the vacant Chelsea job. And Bournemouth went close to signing Jackson before he moved to Stamford Bridge, which is true. Bournemouth actually almost got Nicholas Jackson before we signed him. Iraola on Jackson. I faced him when he was with Villarreal. He is a very good player. He has the threat with his speed to attack the spaces, but he is also very good when he receives, turns, and attacks one-on-one. I think he will provide not only the goals, but a lot of chances. He will work well with the other forwards. I think he is a really good player. Nicholas Jackson's form has ensured there will be plenty of interest in him this summer, with Premier League clubs such as Newcastle and Aston Villa potentially rekindling their interest in the player. Aston Villa because he played under Unai Emery. But I'm of the mindset that he needs to be brought back and be brought back into the first team. There's no excuse on why Liam Delap is still here. I think Liam Delap needs to be sold in the summer, and you bring back Nico Jackson because he can play off the left-hand side and he can also play in a front two with João Pedro. It's like he said here, the way he receives, turns, and attacks one-on-one. You need that from a center forward in a sense, especially if you're able to turn and then drive at the center halves. The center halves are going to continuously be tracking back. And Nico Jackson, if he's learned anything over his first 2 seasons, is that he just needs to be more clinical in front of goal. If he was more clinical in front of goal, I don't think this team would have sent him out on loan. And I think the poor discipline he had towards the end of the season was also the nail in the coffin for him in his first spell. I still think it's possible that he comes back and he absolutely rips it up, right? Like in 81 games for Chelsea, he has 42 goals and assists, bro. In his first season, he scored 15 Premier League goals. None of those were from the spot also. He scores non-penalty goals, which is a huge complaint that strikers get. It's like, how many of these goals are from the penalty spot? Who cares? You're putting the ball in the back of the net. We've seen Harry Kane miss penalties. Now, is that often? No, he's probably the most accurate penalty taker in the world. But he's even missed penalties. Lionel Messi has missed penalties. Am I comparing Nicholas Jackson to any of these players? No. But what I'm saying is that he specifically scores goals not from the penalty spot. So essentially, in more than half the games that he's played for Chelsea, he's been either assisting it or he's scored it. You can't make that up. Liam Delap has 2 goals and I think 3 assists in like 35 games this year, bro. That's not good enough. For a Chelsea striker, that's not good enough. We used to have the likes of Anelka, Drogba, Costa, Hasselbank, right? We used to have these cats coming through here. Samuel Eto'o. We used to have these cats come through here and just put goals in the back of the net for fun. João Pedro's had a sensational season, personally, but I feel like if he had Nico Jackson in the squad with João Pedro, we would probably be much higher up in the table, and we wouldn't have gone scoreless in 5 straight games in the league. That's just me, right? Then I'll pull over to this Liam Delap thing right here. Liam Delap wants to stay and fight for a Chelsea career. He still believes he can be a success for him. You need to sell him in the summer. I think he's cooked. He's cooked, right? In 43 games, 7 goals and assists. Unacceptable. When you scored 12 goals for a relegation side last season, now it is a bit more. You would think coming to a bigger club, you would have more space allotted to you, but the way that teams are playing against us, we don't have the same space. And especially in the Premier League, you're not going to have time on the ball like that. You never do. Right? So I think he's gone in the summer. And then we go to the breaking. Andoni Iraola, Marco Silva, and Xabi Alonso are among the 3 managers Chelsea will make checks on as they identify a preferred candidate. They believe to be other so far named candidates Chelsea are considering. Alonso was one of my preferred options. If you saw the post I did a few days ago, do not fumble this. And this comment here says it should be Cesc Fabregas. I'd be fine with either one of them at this point. You need to bring someone in that can get the respect out of these players. They respect an interim manager. Could you imagine if you brought in in Alonso, a Cesc Fabregas? Could you imagine that? How much more motivated these players would be up for it, man? Like, you don't think a player like Enzo Fernandez would love to work under a great midfielder in his day, like Cesc Fabregas or Xabi Alonso? He can pick his brain like no other. And you'll probably see a much better version of Enzo Fernandez, a more of a leader out of him, because Cesc Fabregas and Xabi Alonso were leaders. Were leaders at their clubs. Enzo Fernandez is a leader at this club, and he proved it yesterday. And he also proved why yesterday that this club needs him in the squad, no matter what. They look better. The passing is better. And when Chelsea play in a midfield three, we are just a much more difficult team to break down. And when we've gone scored on, the common issue is that we're getting hit on the counter, and we're so wide open in the middle that both midfielders are pushed so high up. You have that extra protection with that second defensive midfielder in there. You're not going to get killed on the counterattack every single time. You just won't, right? So who is the next manager going to be? Right? Who could the next manager be? And that's a question that I want to throw out to you guys watching, anybody that is looking to get engaged. Who do you want to see as the next manager of Chelsea Football Club? Me, it's Cesc Fabregas or Xabi Alonso. Those are the two names that I'm going to continuously say until I see it happen. But for Liam Delap, bro, I mean, you want to stay and fight for your career. I think you're better off going back to Ipswich if they get promoted back up to the Premier League. I think they sit third in the championship right now. I think they're Millwall. So it'll be interesting. I think Premier League teams and teams around Europe will be looking for a striker like him, but I just don't think he's cut out to be at this club. I think this is just too big of a jump for him. Honestly. Liam Delap fighting for his Chelsea spot is proper chase the ball energy. At St. James Park, he'd get marked by a proper pack, and the grass would still look better than Chelsea's form. Okay, sure. Iraola is a great coach. I don't care what anybody says. The stigma of him being a running coach is just disrespectful. His football is exciting in the fact that it was constant waves. He has shown to be very adaptable, and he'll most likely adapt with us. I'd be happy with him. I wouldn't mind him, but he'd be like my third option. My preferred option is Cesc Fabregas. My second option is Xabi Alonso. He would be my third option. No, we're not giving him a chance for another season. Paul Merson says he'd take Eddie Howe as Chelsea manager, but also says Chelsea will be targeting managers who are only grateful to manage Chelsea. I mean, yeah. Sure. If they get a conversation going with Xabi Alonso, please don't fuck it up, man. Please don't fuck it up. So what happens when Chelsea wins the FA Cup but finish 6th, while Aston Villa win the Europa League but finish 5th? If Chelsea win the FA Cup, they earn a place in the Europa League. As it stands, they're currently 8th in the Premier League. So it's like they said, if they win the Europa League and Chelsea wins it and they finish 6th, do they qualify for the Champions League or do they qualify for the Europa League? That is a good question. I don't know how that works. No need recycling the news and making it look like Chelsea will go after another coach or approach different managers. Iraola is already a Chelsea's new manager, just a matter of time. Do you really think that, bro? Chelsea have given permission for Enzo Fernandez to travel to Madrid to watch tennis with Cucurella and João Pedro. Interim Callum McFarlane has given the players a couple of days off. I mean, yeah. But it doesn't mean that he's going to want to play for Real Madrid. I think people need to pump the brakes on that because people are going to take this and say, oh, well, so it means that Marc Cucurella and João Pedro will be making a move to Real Madrid in the summer. That's not going to happen. The only one that's likely is probably Enzo, but even then, I don't think at this point now, I don't know if he's going to leave. It's still a 50. I'm leaning more towards 60-40 that he stays. Honestly, that's where I'm at with it. Chelsea are interested in signing Brian Brobby as a potential replacement for Liam Delap this summer. Just bring back Nico Jackson, bro. Matt Law reporting Chelsea will consider offers for Garnacho this summer. You just have to laugh, man. Every Chelsea fan knew this wouldn't work out. Paul Winstonley was obsessed with Garnacho, by the way. Accountability is needed for such a horrid recruitment. I mean, the fact that we brought him in the first place. And you know what? I'll touch on Alejandro Garnacho, bro. I'm going to say this. Let me take a few bites of this. I will say this. Garnacho hasn't helped himself at all. I saw a clip yesterday when he hit that bicycle kick against Everton, and the caption said, "This is where his ego just got the best of him, and he hasn't been the same player since. Ever since he hit that bicycle kick against Everton, he has not been the same player. His ego has absolutely ruined him. And for a guy that's, 20, 21 years old, for your ego to be this big already, and you really haven't proven anything in the Premier League. Yeah, you've played over 100 games, probably 100 in like 50 games, but I'd say in about 120, 125 of those games, he hasn't been good at all. Garnacho is a player of moments. He's not a player of consistency. And I think that's something that needs to be talked about too, that a lot of players nowadays play in moments rather than playing a consistent 90-minute game. So Garnacho in the summer is going to be sold and good riddance. He should have never came here in the first place. And the fact that Paul Winstonley was this obsessed with them because of the data-driven analytics, right? Come on, man. We need better quality. We used to have players like Eden Hazard out there on the left wing, bro. Willian, Pedro. We used to have these kind of cats coming through the club. Ian Robin on the right side. We used to have real guys out there on the wings making a difference. Garnacho can't even dribble past a warm-up coach, bro. That's how bad he is. You know, his touches in the game yesterday were horrific. So predictable. We know he's trying to cut inside. Why not just drive down the line and actually try to put the ball in the box for a cutback? Because he has no control of his movement. He has no control over the ball whatsoever. I mean, Enzo Fernandez puts in a beautiful chip over the top for him, and he takes the improper touch, and the touch is so heavy it goes out of bounds, and it's horrific. It's just terrible. Enzo Maresca has told Man City that Enzo should be their top priority in the summer transfer window. The Italian manager, who is expected to succeed Pep, is pushing hard to get the deal done. It wouldn't shock me, but I don't think he's going to. I think if he leaves, he's going to go abroad. I don't think he's going to play for another club in the Premier League. That's just my opinion. Xabi Alonso would be a great appointment, which is exactly why it won't happen, right? Don't build yourself up to be disappointed. I mean, I'm keeping my expectations low. I'm just saying who I would like to see be on the touchline. It'd be Cesc Fabregas, Xabi Alonso, and my third option would be Iraola. Love seeing a link to Nico Gonzalez to Chelsea today. This team just needs a natural giant number 6. Remember how Rodri initially had to have a year of adapting to the league, learning from Fernandinho. Same is happening with this fella. Snatch him from them before he explodes. I mean, you're going to have to probably pay an arm and a leg to get him. A Liverpool fan begs Enzo to come to Liverpool.
Come to Liverpool. Come to Liverpool. Come to Liverpool.
Yeah, bro. I mean, oh, did we see this yesterday? Did anybody see the unbelievable scenes that were down there in the Spanish second tier, bro? Absolutely like unreal, dude. Like I'm gonna have to pull this up on his page because I was on Twitter yesterday when we were going to the special occasion for my daughter and stuff. Yeah, is this right here? I don't know if I can play the audio because I might get copyright, but like he pushes him down, right? And he's like, "Yeah, bro, like I'm gonna take that red card." And what he does is the clothesline from hell, bro. Look at this. Like I can't believe the scenes that were there yesterday, bro. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable, bro. He literally swung up like JBL, bro. Like the clothesline from hell. Off the rope and like I can't believe that. All he's doing is just nodding like, yeah, like I didn't do anything wrong. I just talked shit to you and you reacted negatively to me, bro. Right. That man effectively ruined his career, bro. So Chelsea fans don't want Iraola or Xabi Alonso. Who do you want then? I think Iraola is different from Liam Rossini, bro, because he has the Premier League experience already. Now, has he won anything with Bournemouth? No, but at Bournemouth, like your expectations aren't to win silverware. Your expectations are really just to stay in the Premier League, and that's what he's been managing to do. Now, he got them to their highest ever finish, I believe, which is something to look at. But this is why Iraola would be my third option. He wouldn't be my first or second option. He just wouldn't. But if he's available and the other two don't want the job, I would go after him. Would you be happy for Liam Delap to stay and fight for his? No, just sell him. You can get your money back from him. To be honest with you, Iraola and Marco Silva 2-horse race for the Chelsea job. Eddie Howe is also in contention. Blue coat digging themselves a deeper grave. I mean, if you don't land Xabi Alonso or Cesc Fabregas, or even at the minimum like Eddie Howe, then damn, like they are continuously digging themselves in a grave. Why is Chelsea 4 scheduled for 10 a.m. on a Monday? That can't be right. I mean, I'm happy about it. I mean, I don't even work that day, but the first thing next Monday morning is that. I mean, I'm excited for it. Yeah. After that win yesterday, it got me kind of excited to watch like a Premier League game again, because I didn't watch any Premier League games all weekend because of the state of how we are in the league. Like it's horrible. At least one of the Chelsea's current crop of strikers is likely to depart. I think it's Liam Delap. A lot of people saying that it's Nico Jackson. I think he's coming back into the team next season. Let me explain this. Enzo is the only creative midfielder we have. We need another creative midfielder. Caicedo, Lavia, and Isugo can do the defensive duties. Lavia is better than Santos, and we will make a huge loss if we want to sell him, but we will make good profits if we sell. Isugo is just happy to be here. Santos will not agree to play three game a season like him. He'll definitely want out. We can't sign a midfielder to the 5. We already have 6 people competing for 2 positions will be hard. Enzo, Wharton creating midfielders, Caicedo, Lavia, and Isugo as the defensive. It's an interesting one, man, because I like Andre Santos, but we do need another creative midfielder in this team, man. Because Enzo does have all the creative duties of this team. He just does. Especially in midfield, he has that license, but he needs somebody else alongside him with a Caicedo or Lavia with him. Like, even if we have to pivot to a diamond midfield, I feel like you have 2 8s and you have Enzo pushed up a bit more, and Caicedo is that defensive midfielder. One of those 8s has to be able to push up into the upper areas of the pitch and help Enzo out, be that creative outlet. Because Cole Palmer right now is showing us that he can't find his form. He comes on for 20 minutes yesterday and looks dreadful. And I saw a post yesterday saying that it's no surprise that when Palmer came on that our attack was stagnated, and to be honest with you, it did. It looked flat. It didn't. It looked like it would just came to a screeching halt. But he's just been shit, to be honest with you, for the longest time. And I'm glad he was dropped yesterday, and I'm glad he didn't start yesterday because I don't think we would have had the same mentality if he was out there. I just think he's mentally shot from everything, and I just think the injuries that he's had has completely derailed his season. I also saw a person say that Cole Palmer 20 is just a better player than when he wears like a 10 jersey. You know what? I'm starting to believe that. I'm starting to believe that because nobody has put on that number 10 shirt since Eden Hazard and actually done anything with it. Christian Pulisic, sure. I mean, he won the Champions League, but now it's looking like, could you imagine if we had still had Christian Pulisic on like the left wing? I think this team would be a lot more dangerous in attack. A lot more dangerous. Nini is a sellout. If he actually cared about this club, he'd be calling out this regime the way Eunice does. Instead, the fool is more focused on protecting his perks and pushing dodgy transfer stories than standing up for the club. He's lost all credibility as a Chelsea fan and comes across as a full blue co-enabler. Give me a second real quick because I do want to react to this, but I need to handle something real quick. All right. We are back. We are here. So to speak on Nini and stuff, bro. I'm gonna just say this, man. And I'm gonna preface my comments by saying that I watched him for a pretty substantial amount of time. And I'm just gonna be real, bro. I think he is starting to really like irritate me as well. Now I'm subscribed to him. I watch his channels or I watch his videos every now and then, right? But for me, he has too big of a platform to continue to be enabling a lot of the stuff that this ownership is doing, right? I mean, I can appreciate like the stories that he does for the transfers and managerial searches and like keeping us informed about the stories that are going on around the sport. But when you have a platform that you have and you sit here and you continue to gaslight the fan base by almost defending what Blue Co is doing, I think there needs to be a conversation about what your agenda really is when it comes to this, right? I really, really do. I just think at a certain point, you need to look at the bigger picture here that the club that you've supported your entire life, the club that you are doing content on is being ripped up from the inside out. And you as one of the bigger faces in this community, bro, need to be better with how you're actually talking about the club in a sense, bro. Like, I understand you got perks of the club. You you promote the mega store, you promote ticket sales for the club and all that, but we shouldn't be feeding this club any kind of money, or Blue Coat any kind of money, bro. Like, do you understand with your 225,000 subs, the impact you can make? You got content creators like Rory Jennings, like Eunice, like Son of Chelsea, like Johnny Minerals, right? Like Matisse and all of them, right? You have these cats out here basically saying they need to get out. Bobby Fairview, a guy that was calling this shit out weeks ago about the financial situation that this club is currently going through, calling it out weeks ago, and has been spot on. And Bloomberg came out and confirmed essentially everything that he was saying. You have too big of a platform, Nini. You really do. And for a guy that's watched you since before COVID, really, and watch your channel grow the way that it's grown, you got to be better, bro. You absolutely got to be better. You got too big of a platform. There's no reason why Eunice is doing what he's doing and he's pushing out the message Blue Co out while you're sitting here essentially defending what Blue Co is doing. Do you understand that if you get on video and you start attacking what Blue Co is doing, how many people will actually be behind what you're saying because of how consistent you've been with providing us with news stories, with previews and reviews, and giving your opinion on what you see out there? Because a lot of people take your opinion seriously, and now people are starting to not take you seriously because it seems like you only care about keeping your perks at the club right now. And that's selfish, and that is very self-centered of you, bro, as one of the faces of this fan base on YouTube, that you're doing this. I don't have the same platform as you, bro. I don't have the same following as you. But as a guy who's been a fan of this club for close to 25 years, I've never seen the club this down in the dumps as it is. I wasn't around in the 80s when they got relegated. I wasn't around then. I was around when they finished 12th. I was around when they lost the Champions League final to Manchester United. I was around when Roman Abramovich took over. I've been around for all the manager sackings. I've been around for when they finished 10th, in 6th, in 12th, and seeing them get absolutely torn apart by Man City 6-0. I've seen it all. You've got to be better, bro. You've got to be better. That's all I'm going to say on him, bro, because honestly, like, it's such a disappointing thing to see this, man. It really, really is. Chelsea do not need to rebuild. We already have players. Let me see here. Where's my thing at? Yeah, Chelsea do not need to rebuild. We already have players, just like the 4 players we already have to compete. We have good midfielders: Enzo, Caicedo, Santos, Lavia, incoming Barca. We have good left backs: Cucurella, and Hato, Reece James, and Gusto. Even though I think Malo Gusto, we could have proven that position. Honestly, sorry, I have a lot of indigestion right now. We just need 2 quality center backs, 2 quality attackers and wingers. Bring Jackson to compete with João Pedro. I think they would bring out the best in each other. Even though João Pedro's already been great this season, I think we would be better if we had Nico Jackson instead of Liam Delap in this team. Bring Jackson to compete with João Pedro. I think they would bring out the best in each other. Even though João Pedro's already been great this season, I think we would be better. I absolutely think we would be better with him. I just wanted to keep checking if my audio's on, because I had the issue yesterday where my audio just wasn't recording. And I got this mic right here. All right. Very nice microphone. Paid about close to $100 for it, but it has really good sound, really good quality. I'm able to change the volume on it, so I would like to know at times if my shit's a bit too loud or whatever. But again, I agree with this. The only thing I will say is, like, I think we need to improve at the right back position, because I don't think Malo Gusto personally is good enough to be at this club. He's had good moments. He almost created this second goal yesterday, but again, When you have players like Reece James out, I want to have that quality in behind to where I'm not worried about if Reece James is out for 2 or 3 weeks, that guy can step in and not fill his shoes, but at least put in a similar performance to him. Chelsea players were reporting. I mean, you understand that this was the jerseys they wore last year, right? You see Sancho in there. Kieran Dewsbury Hall's there, right? Like, kind of crazy, right? Anthony Taylor will referee Chelsea versus Forest next Monday. Great. Fantastic, bro. Because that's who we need to see. Breaking Xabi Alonso to Chelsea is getting hotter. Stop playing with me, bro. Never happening. Simp of a coach. Players threw him out of Madrid because he said they should give a god or honor to the team they had just being, and that's a loser's mentality. Weak man. No, bro. The Real Madrid players forced him out. He didn't even last through the new year. No. The issue at Real Madrid, in my opinion, is the players. It's the players because the egos there are out of control, bro. Vinicius Jr., Mbappe, Jude Bellingham, all have personality issues, bro. And like that's what it's coming down to is that like players nowadays just have too much power, and the clubs don't really have any more authority. And this is why you see players trying to force moves out. And then if they're that unhappy, they eventually do get their move. But the player power there at Madrid is absolutely nuts, bro. You can't say player power at this club because these players just stopped playing for Liam Rosenior because they didn't believe in him. The players at Madrid just walked all over him. And they didn't care about the system they were playing in. They played for themselves. The players at Chelsea just didn't want to play for Liam Rosenior. And there was no identity. At least with Alonso, there's some type of a style of play they have. Liam Rosenior has no style of play. Bullshit. Exactly. Like I need to believe it to see it. That's what I'm saying. Do not take this, people here, do not take this as he's moving to Real Madrid. There's nothing wrong with him taking a few days off, and he's going with a couple of his teammates, bro. Right? So Marc Cucurella and João Pedro are going to be playing in the white shirt next season. Knock it off, bro. That's not happening. So let's not take this and make it like he's going to want to move to Real Madrid. That's not what it means. So people need to pump the brakes on that. Madrid Zone is going to post stuff like this. Why? Because there's been links between him and Madrid for the longest time. And if he does go to Madrid in the summer, congratulations, bro, because you deserve to be playing in a team that has ambitions to win, right? That's the moral of the story. How do you feel about Xabi Alonso as Chelsea manager? I do like it. I would like to see that happen. He'd be my second option, but that would probably turn the fan base around a lot. But again, I can see why people don't want that to happen. My Chelsea awards of the season so far: Player of the Year, João Pedro; Young Player of the Year, João Horta; Most Underrated. I'd say most underrated and most underappreciated, Enzo Fernandez. I agree. Most overrated, exactly. Most improved, I agree with that. I think Robert Sanchez has been the most improved player in the squad this season. Best signing, João Pedro. I can agree with that. The worst signing, it's between Liam Delap and Garnacho. The biggest letdown probably will be Jamie Gittins, given that I don't think I think he needs another season. Garnacho, he's not going to get another season at this club. Jamie Gittins will probably get another season because of the injuries that he's had. Garnacho will not get that chance because the fans don't fuck with him at all. And you can clearly see that. Jamie Gittins, at least there was some type of patience and like we see the talent in there. It's just he needs to be more confident when he's driving at these fullbacks and these center halves. And the goal he scored against Wolves was absolutely sensational. If that's something that I'm getting out of my left winger, the unpredictability, then I wouldn't mind keeping Jamie Gittins. And it's crazy because I forgot that we even had him because we haven't seen him on the pitch in so long. The best team game was Barcelona. Worst team game, 3-0 to Brighton. Best individual game, João Pedro versus Napoli. Yeah. Worst individual game, Garnacho versus Man United. Yes, that's probably the worst. Breakthrough player of the year, Jesse Derry. Okay. Turning point moment, PSG away. Yeah. Actually, I'd say the turning point of the season that when shit really went south was the 3-1 loss to Leeds at Ellen Road. I think that's when the season really started to go south. Even though Enzo Maresca was still the manager, signs were already on the door that he was going to probably be on his way out. Goal of the season, Esteval versus Barcelona. Yeah, I mean, that's probably is. I would probably say even the João Pedro goal against Napoli should be in that conversation. Or even like the Moises Caicedo goal against Liverpool back on October 4th. I think that should also be in contention for the goal of the season. But there's still 5 games left in the season, so we can still hold our reservations on that. But Esteval versus them, I think, is probably the goal of the season. Because the way that he takes it, beats 2 Barcelona defenders, and then rifles it into the roof of the net is sensational, bro. And this is why it's sad that he's not in the squad right now because of his hamstring. A kid that's 18 years old and the heavy reliance we had on him is crazy. This is why you need more quality out there on the wing. So he's not playing every game, but he's able to come on the pitch and make an impact. Because when we have Esteban on the pitch, there's definitely more unpredictability about what's going on down that right-hand side. There just is. Build around this team and we winning the lot next season. At left wing, I've always said, go get me Rafael Leao, bro. That's just me. I want to know what people think about that. At center half, goalkeeper, I'm going to be honest, bro. Like, I still think Robert Sanchez could be the number 1 goalkeeper next season. That's just me. Unless you get like a Xabi Alonso and he has an idea of the goalkeeper he wants, then I wouldn't mind him being the backup option. But Robert Sanchez, if I'm being honest with you guys, has not been that bad. The problem is when Liam Marcinha came in, his confidence, his mental, and his form dipped. And there's no surprise that when he's gone, we're seeing him pull out one of the best performances he's had all season. You can't make that up. But at center half, it's always a tricky one for me because center halves are few and far in between on the quality that they do have. But if there's any way to go get like a Bastoni from Inter Milan or something like that, I would be all here for it. It means you have 2 left-footed center halves, but with Colwell and Bastoni at the back, I feel like I wouldn't be worried about conceding as many goals. I just wouldn't. But yeah, that's how I would do it. I would go Rafael Leao on the left, Bastoni, and I would keep a Robert Sanchez in there. That's just me. How does Paul Winstanley, Lawrence Stewart, Joe Shields, Sam Jewell, and Dave Fowler sit around the table and come up with the names of coaches from fucking Bournemouth and Fulham? That's what I'm saying. Like, how do you come up with those names? If you guys are serious about trying to change up how things are, why aren't you going after the proven elite managers? Because the proven elite managers don't want anything to do with this sporting project, bro. Without mentioning Real Madrid, name one club that's won all these trophies. Chelsea. Arsenal have it. Arsenal haven't won the Champions League, Europa League, Super Cup, or the Club World Cup. Chelsea delaped the lemon this summer. Bought for $30 million last year. This season, just one Premier League goal in 25 games. Flashes of quality, but low minutes and confidence. 5 years left on the deal. With Nico Jackson back, João Pedro firing, Mark Gue rising, and Omega incoming. What should we do with Delap? Keep as a squad player, loan for development, sell for profit. You need to sell him. Because Mark Gue will probably be gone as well, or he'll probably be sent out on loan. But when you have Nicholas Jackson, João Pedro, and Omega coming in, Liam Delap will be that odd man out, and he's going to get sold. Enzo Fernandez has never lost a final in his life. Pray for Man City. Hey, listen. A lot of Man City fans. Really? I know this isn't a reality TV page, but really? I'm going to have to check that out later. I remember when Company was linked to Chelsea immediately after he relegated Burnley. There was an uproar and the fan base almost melted down. Now Company is one of the best managers in Europe. Again, it's not about the manager, but the players he is fed with. Chelsea appointing Iraola is not the problem, but the signings with this current players, Iraola will do nothing. Even Pep and Klopp will do nothing. Well, with Pep and Klopp, you would probably be able to get proven and established players into the squad that will make the team better. Honestly, if this team had Vincent Kompany as manager, you wouldn't see a drop off in mentality. Have you seen him on the touchlines and how he articulates himself in press conferences? That's a manager that Chelsea really should be going after. But he's not gonna leave Bayern Munich, bro. You're guaranteed to win. You're guaranteed to win something every single season. You're always in the Champions League. You're gonna win the German league more than likely every single season. Why would he want to leave, right? Final 4 games. How many points do Chelsea actually take? I think they take 7 out of 12. Honestly, I think they beat Forest at home. In my opinion, I think they're going to lose to Liverpool at Anfield. They're going to beat Spurs at home, and then I think they draw on the final day. Did we outrun Leeds yesterday? Like, there is a stat going around that Chelsea have been outran by every single Premier League team this season, which is a disgrace, by the way. The reason I refuse to listen to these things that people are saying about Iraola, because you and we all called Maresca a championship manager before he joined us. He then left with everyone loving him and won trophies. Chelsea fans just overreact all the time. I'm one of the few Chelsea fans here that was backing Enzo Maresca the minute that he came in through the door, bro. The minute he came in through the door, I was like, you know what? We have to give this guy a chance, because you never really know what can happen if you give a championship manager better players. And he proved what he can do with this young squad. This is what I'm saying. The people that were hating on Enzo Maresca, where are you guys at right now? I'm trying to find you guys, because you guys essentially got what you wanted. Now look at us. And no, I should be positive about the FA Cup one, but when I start seeing shit like Enzo Maresca wasn't a good coach, the players played for him. They had the identity, bro. Genuine question to Chelsea fans. When was the last time you seen Cole Palmer actually shoot the ball with some proper power? Aston Villa away. I'm just being honest, and he's my favorite player on the team, bro. He really is. If you were to pick one of these strikers to join Chelsea next summer, who are you taking out of these four? Osimhen. Julian Alvarez, I don't think is going to come to Chelsea, bro. I think that deal is too expensive, and you need European football to even entice him. I don't care if his best friend Enzo Fernandez plays for Chelsea. He's not going to come to a club where there's no Europe, bro. The first 5 players we need to sell: Garnacho, Neto, Liam Delap, Tosin, and Badiashile. I agree. These are the 5 players that are going to be sold in this summer, honestly. Who would you give player of the season to? Probably João Pedro. This is the shame that Arsenal fans have, bro. Or one football, rather. 46 trophies to 48, right? But 17 of those trophies, bro, are community shields. Have some shame, bro. Like, have some shame, bro. They've won more league titles than you guys in their respective league. They've won the European Cup 3 times and the Europa League 3 times. I'm sorry, I can't find that where like the Arsenal trophies are. Oh yeah, that's right, because they've never won it and they never will win it. I'm just saying that now. Arsenal fans, I've been seeing a lot more recently because they won a tight game against Newcastle. Are all saying like we're still the biggest team in England. How? Y'all ain't won shit, bro. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Go prove it. Show us that your manager can actually get the job done, bro. Because Man City is right on your coattails. You guys are shit, honestly. Like, I think your manager, honestly, is one of the most overrated managers I've ever seen. And if he has any kind of respect for himself, if he doesn't win anything, he needs to walk away. And I don't think Arsenal fans would even bat an eye if he were to walk. Because I think they even know that he's taken them as far as they can go. If you go get an elite manager, like, could you imagine Xabi Alonso with Arsenal? Could you imagine like a Pep Guardiola with this Arsenal team, a Jurgen Klopp with this Arsenal team, bro? Nagelsmann? Arsenal would be a lot more dangerous and a lot more scary to even go up against. But again, this stream isn't about the team from North London. It's about how the fact that Chelsea need to get back on the levels of winning silverware year in, year out. They really do. Oh, speaking of injuries, bro, Xavi Simons tore his ACL against Wolves at the weekend, right? And the treatment that he was getting from the Spurs fans, bro, was absolutely despicable. And the Spurs medical team asking him to run up and down the pitch when he's clearly in distress. How in the hell are you going to ask him to go run up and down the pitch if he feels like he tore a ligament? This is why Spurs are going down. Even their medical team can't get shit right. I don't care if they won at the weekend. West Ham won. And as it stands, Spurs are still going down. Like, it's absolutely insane to me, dude. I really need to find that post, dude, because it is unacceptable. Like what we are seeing from these fans, bro. Look, find this real quick. Maybe it was on his actual page. Hold on. Let me find it real quick. Yeah, it's right here. This shit is unreal, dude. Like, I'm sorry. Is there audio for this? No? Oh, yeah, that's insane, bro.
You fucking shit cunts.
Now, I understand he hasn't been good this season, and maybe he did make the wrong decision to go to Tottenham, like a lot of these players end up doing in the first place. Conor Gallagher, why would you subject yourself to going to Tottenham, bro? But Xabi Simons, bro, I mean, it's unfortunate he's going to miss the World Cup. He's going to miss the rest of the season for Tottenham, and I hate Spurs, bro. I really do. But when I start seeing players get abused like this, when he's clearly in distress, it doesn't matter how bad he's been. He's in distress. He tore a ligament, bro. You know, one of your better players in the team now is not going to be available for the rest of the season. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise, but you don't want to see this from any player. You don't want to see this from fan bases. Your team has been shit all season. He's not the reason why you guys are sitting 18th in the Premier League right now. He's not the main reason. And we need to stop acting like he's the main reason why Spurs are 18th. You guys are going to get relegated because you guys have been shit all season. And your recruitment has been poor. And at board level, it's been horrific. When you only care about events that are going on at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and it's trickling down into the club where they're getting ripped up every single game. I'm sorry. You guys deserve to go down. You absolutely do. You know what I mean? I mean, this is where he tore his ACL. Boom. The overextension, and immediately goes down, and he feels the pain immediately. Like, I don't want to see players go down to ACL injuries because it can ruin their career. Like, take a look at this, man.
I know! That was a fault! There's no fucking ball! You're a fucking prick! I know! You're right there! I know! For fuck's sake!
Mickey Van club captain, taking on his international teammate, bro.
You're right there! How was he not seeing that? Criminally fucking I made him jump up and down, jump up and down so he could fucking collapse again. Absolutely pathetic medical team.
Yeah.
Absolutely
fucking pathetic is right. How are you going to ask this guy to jump up and down and run up the pitch when he tore a ligament? From the top down, bro, Tottenham Hotspur's entire infrastructure is in the fucking mud. As witnessed yesterday, yet again, with Xabi Simons, our medical team is utterly clueless, asking him to run it off after being in obvious distress. I know they don't have a scanner pitch side to see if there's any ligament damage, but you should know the signs as an expert to when a player has to come off, even as a precaution. We saw the same thing with Kulu, Betancourt, and Dragushin. Doing squat jumps after they can barely stand up. We now have 11 players injured. It's certainly no coincidence. The club hierarchy, recruitment, and medical team have failed us, handicapping any chance of progression, leaving us on the brink of relegation. The fans will always be there supporting, though. We need a whole new medical department. Seeing if Xabi can run it off after a potential ACL. Kudus was meant to be back last month. Solanke has missed more games since joining Spurs through injury than he did in his entire career before that. Kulusevski was meant to be back this season, another setback. James Maddison on the bench when he can't even play. Udogie rushed back and gets injured again. Romero used Argentina staff to treat him when injured in the past and thanked them. Dragoshin, Odegaard, Madison doing ACLs in the same space of a year. On top of this, injuries to Betancourt, Bergvall, and seeing them out for periods. I mean, bro, as a Chelsea fan, coming from the other side of this and seeing this, your medical team, your club, everything has absolutely failed you guys. And this is why I can sense why you guys are just insanely frustrated with how your season is going. You're missing key player after key player. You have 11 players out. Some of the most important players in your squad, a Kulusevski, right? A James Maddison, a Mohamed Kudus, a Solanke, Udogie, right? Those players are starters. And now Xabi Simons is out. You can't make this up. They've absolutely failed him.
Fucking clueless. Clueless.
Like, look,
Why do you make him jump up and down?
You're telling him to do this. And like now looking back at it, I don't even.
What a farce. What a farce. Your cunt. Right on your cunt.
Unreal, bro.
Wait till tomorrow. I'll do
Actually, you can stand up and you can barely stand. Just tore a ligament in your knee.
You don't even know what
You
they're
ask me
doing.
to stand up?
You've got no idea what they're doing.
None.
Clueless.
Clueless as fuck.
Fucking clueless.
It's unreal, dude. I've never seen a medical team fail to handle an injury such as his. I've never seen it.
What was she expecting?
All right, let me get off my Instagram real quick. I've not really even thought about Xabi Alonso because I didn't think we would try. But seeing the news today, don't get me excited, please. Do the right thing. I agree. I absolutely agree. I really hope that happens, man. Zinedine Zidane on the Kevin De Bruyne versus Bruno Fernandes debate. The debate is interesting, but you have to understand what both players bring. De Bruyne, what he has done in the last 10 years at Man City FC is incredible. Consistency, trophies, assists, controlling games at the highest level. He's been one of the best in the world for a long time. He makes the game look so easy. His vision, passing, and timing is elite. But Bruno Fernandes is different. At Man United, he carries the team in many moments, goals, assists, leadership. He takes risks. He's always trying to make something happen. People criticize him, but that's because he takes responsibility. So the debate depends on what you value. If you want to talk about consistency and winning at the highest level, De Bruyne is ahead. If you want to talk about influence, personality, and carrying a team through difficult moments, Bruno is top. Both are elite in different ways. I agree with that. And when you say, and when he's saying something like that, you listen, because he was one of the greatest central midfielders that this game has ever seen. But oh my God. Stop sharing this for a second here. Cool. Thank you. I appreciate the comment. But yeah, man. I mean, it's very, very interesting on who this manager is going to be next season, guys. It really, really is. I don't know where the hell my shit went. Hold on. There it is. Or there I am, rather. I'll just do this for right now. There's not much more I can really say right now on stream. I need to get ready to go handle some stuff later in the day. I'll probably have some shorts uploaded or something like that. But to just go over the last few things here in regards to what we saw yesterday and who I think the next manager will be, it's great to see that this team picked up 3 points, or not 3 points. It's great to see that this team, I wish we can get 3 points, but it's good to see that this team found a way to get a result yesterday. And hopefully this brings back the morale in the dressing room and the confidence back that they can go out there and go beat anybody. Does that mean they'll beat Man City in the FA Cup final? No, but you never really know in this sport. Southampton almost did the impossible on Saturday. So you never really know. Right? So in regards to who I think the next manager will be, I think the next manager is all dependent on how serious this ownership is about relinquishing some control on what players come in and out. I think that's what it's going to be really dependent on, because when you hear the name Chelsea in the manager job, all you really think about is it's not long spells. There's usually turmoil involved, but this ownership has to get it right. They have to get it right, and I still think they need to get out. I still think they need to sell up. But at the end of the day, who I think is going to be the next manager of this club, if this ownership is gaslighting us the way that they've been gaslighting us, it won't be Xabi Alonso. But in my heart, in my head, I'm thinking that Xabi Alonso could be the next manager of Chelsea. But we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, I don't think that decision will be made until maybe right before the World Cup or maybe just after. But even then, you want to get the manager in before the World Cup, in my opinion. So like there's a full preseason for this. So then after the couple weeks that they have off, that they get to come back and actually get reintegrated or get integrated with the new manager. So you need to appoint the manager, in my opinion, either before the end of the season and then he takes charge on July 1st, or you wait until after the World Cup and risk having another preseason where the full squad isn't there. So my 3 candidates right now would be Cesc Fabregas, Xabi Alonso, and Andoni Iraola. All Spanish managers, by the way. So we'll see if they're able to bring in any of those 3. But if I had to put my money on either of those 3, it would probably be Iraola. It will be the next manager at the club. But my dream is Cesc Fabregas. My second option would be Xabi Alonso, honestly. But let me know in the comments. Smash the like button. Just give me your guys' thoughts on what you guys think, who you guys think the next manager will be. Where does Liam Delap go next season? Should we bring back Nico Jackson and make him and have him compete with João Pedro? Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. I'm Jason, No Filter Charles. I appreciate all the love and support. I'm on the road to 2,000 subs. Just smash the sub button if you haven't. Drop a like if you haven't. Get your opinions down.